I'm in a really bad place with my boss because he thinks that I'm not responsive and I don't take my job seriously because I'm really behind on my email. And I don't know how to get out of this.
And what would you like to have happen? When you don't know how to get out of it, what would you like to have happen?
I just need to figure a way to keep on top of my email. Like, it can't be that hard. I'm smart. I'm good at my job. But this email thing is becoming a real problem with me and my boss and honestly, some of my colleagues.
Okay, and you'd like to find a way to keep on top of your emails. And when you're on top of your emails, that's like what?
It means that my inbox is like, I only have maybe 15 unread emails or 10, and I'm responding to people before they nudge me.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I feel like people don't trust me or bring me in or give me things because they think I'm not going to respond.
Mm-hmm. And when you're on top of your emails and there's only sort of 10 to 15 that are unread, where does being on top of your emails come from? Or what happens just before you're on top of your emails?
I'm focused. I have energy.
Mm-hmm.
I have the ability to just go in and do it, you know, without like worrying too much.
So you're focused and you have energy, and then you're on top of your emails, and there's only sort
Mm-hmm,
of 10 to 15 that are unread.
mm-hmm.
And when you're focused and you have energy, what kind of focus and what kind of energy is that focus and energy?
I mean, the focus is that I can stay on my email window, and open them, but have enough time and thought to respond thoughtfully, not just
Mm-hmm.
worry, like feel worried and anxious and just fire something off, like
Mm-hmm.
to work at a good steady pace so I can respond, but also respond, well.
So you've got a good steady space, a good steady pace, and you've
Mm-hmm,
got focus and you've got energy. And
mm-hmm.
is there anything else about focus like that? Does it have a size or a shape when you have
Oh,
focus?
a size or a shape.
So thinking about that focus, when you have focus and you're on top of your emails, does that focus have a size or a shape?
It's like a circle. It's like a contained circle,
Mm-hmm. So a
you
contained
know?
circle.
Yeah, it's not chaotic. It's like a calm, contained circle.
Okay. And whereabouts is that calmed, contained circle?
It's in me. It's like in my chest, and then it sort of stays on my inbox page.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's in your chest and it stays on your inbox page.
Yeah.
And then it's a steady pace. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're on top of your emails,
Mm-hmm.
only 5 to 10 to 15 unread. And what happens just before focus?
Um, Maybe I have taken a break so like my body, I feel like I can sit because sometimes it's hard
Mm-hmm.
for me to sit for a long time and my neck hurts and then I get bored and I think about other things and I get up, I feel good in my body so that I can actually sit, maybe for
Mm-hmm.
a half an hour or even 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what needs to happen for you to feel good in your body like that?
I need to move, take a break. I think if I've just come from a long meeting or having done like having thought really hard or done something that feels hard, it's then hard for me to sit and then give that energy and focus
Mm-hmm.
on my emails. I need to have felt
Okay.
like I had a break.
Okay. So you need to feel like you've had a break. Otherwise, it's hard for you to sit. But if you've had a
Yeah.
break, you've got that focus, that energy, and that focus. And the focus is a contained circle, and it's in there, but it's also on the screen. And then
Yeah.
you're on top of your emails. And then what happens?
Well, then I set my time or, I say I'm going to do this much and I feel good because I can stop without worrying and feeling anxious, that I'm missing something, because I know that I'm on top of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And is there anything else about all that?
Well, I think it would be better if I did it in the morning, because I find my body doesn't hurt. I feel better and have more energy if I do email first thing in the morning, but it's sometimes
Mm-hmm.
hard to find that time. But I think if I could find that time in the morning, that would be good. And then maybe another block at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. So finding that time in the morning and then
Mm-hmm.
another block at the end of the day. Okay. So since we're not in a coaching session, I'm going to stop us there. But what I would do at this point is I would get you to go and map that out as a little process. So what's the
Mm-hmm.
order that things happen in?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you've mapped that out and written it, because I kind of want you to take it out of words and into something visual, because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we then learn even more when we see it mapped out. And I can, we could carry on doing that for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I could find out more about the nuances. But I'm already starting to see the structure of a strategy emerging of how you can manage your inbox, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we know is that you need protected time at the beginning and end of each day. We already know that. We don't know how much time. We know that there's something about your physical comfort, and I might also start thinking about where you're sitting, what kind of chair you're sitting in, whether you have a sit-stand desk, what your opportunities for movement are that are easily accessible for you, like where can you go, and we would start building strategies based on what you're saying. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, I think what was really interesting about that and clean language is that, I don't know, listeners, if you can hear how Nancy responded, but she didn't create new language in her questions. She repeated words that I had said. Right?
It's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing that very deliberately. I'm not paraphrasing you. I'm not hearing what you're saying and summarizing it in my own words. I'm giving it back to you exactly as you've said it. I am interpreting in that I'm pulling out certain words, and I'm ignoring other words. So you'll notice, for example, I didn't go into the relationships and whether about you feeling, I think you said trusted. So I think, I haven't gone there. I've gone to the mechanism of you being on top of your inbox, and I've gone there quite deliberately. So I am doing quite a lot in the background, but what I'm not doing is changing your words. I'm definitely not
Why
doing
not?
that. Because what I want you to get into is a state where you're developing your metacognitive awareness of your own process. I want you to be in your mentalization. And if I make an inference of your words, so if I said something like, I'm trying to think of how to do it. I'm so trained to not do it. I can't think of how I would do it.
Give me advice, Nancy.
So if I said something like, so how do you feel about your inbox when it's overwhelming? Right? I'm introducing a whole bunch of things. I'm introducing feeling. Now, I don't know about your brand of neurodivergence, but a lot of neurodivergent people don't have interoception. So you might not know how you're feeling. So in order for you to answer my question, you have to come out of your experience. You have to think of what it is that I'm saying to you. You have to decide whether I'm right or not. And then you go back into your experience. You have to do a whole bunch of steps in order to process my question. Whereas if I just say being on top of your emails, that's like what? Then you get to stay in that experience of what it's like being on top of your emails. So I'm not taking you out of your metacognitive experience to find out whether I've got you or not,
Right.
You don't have to, because in normal everyday dialogue, that's what we do. We say, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, for me, being on top of my inbox is it's really important, but I can handle 100 emails. I like 100 emails. Anything less than 100 emails, I feel good. So, and now you're not processing yours anymore. You're processing mine. And it might feel good because you might feel, oh, Nancy relates to me. She gets what I'm talking about. Gosh, 100 emails is a bit much. I don't know how she does that. But that's nice for a conversation. That's nice kind of building relationships and relatedness. But what it's not helping you do is understand your process. And what I want you to do is to understand your process so that you can start effecting change within your process and having clearer choices and knowing, predicting when you're going to find that stressful and when you're not going to find that stressful, and starting to go, right. So what I was doing was building a model with you of what it looks like when it works well. So this is the other thing that I very deliberately did. You gave me a problem to start with. You didn't give me a solution. You didn't give me an outcome. You didn't give me a goal. You gave me the problem. You told me what the problem was. And within that problem, there was a nugget of what an outcome might look like, which is to be on top of your emails. So I thought, right, that's the thing that she's given me that's the clearest goal. Out of all the things, she's given me a clear goal. And so she must have some sense of what being on top of her emails is like. So I'm going to find out if that's true. And so I pinpointed the bit of your initial statement that was a goal or could be a goal, and to try and find out if I could work that into a goal with you, which we did a really nice job of. And then once we've got that mapped out as a really clear goal, we can then go into a couple of different places. We can start building the behavioral strategies that go with that goal, which, as I said, you've already given me the clues of where to go. And we can also then go back to it and start thinking about the relationship implications and what that means for you, and why it's meaningful, and how you want to, how you want to relate to your colleagues around that. Sorry, I'm going to have to plug my